Hey, it's March the 6th, 2020, 2024, and we're all up in it. We're deep up in it. 2020, 2024. I thought I would jump onto the internet and incriminate myself, whatever, and holler at my people. I I don't know exactly what we're gonna get into before I mosey off to Sleepy Town. I plan to do that pretty dang soon, like a baby. There's a lot of people out there that just can't get no rest. I know because I talk to a lot of them. And try as they might, they can't get no rest. You know, some people actually look depressed out there. I try to help them along and stuff. Um, thing is, we're gonna. I'm not gonna. There's gonna be a time to be depressed. All right, that's what I want to tell them. But then, obviously that's kind of rude to say, isn't it? Uh, so I thought I would pop on the internet and without having too much direction, we'll let y'all all know, reassure you out there, anybody out there, it's going down, all right? Something terrible, something real bad. All right? Everybody knows it. When exactly, I don't know. I don't know. But this year, it's already proved itself to be something very, very serious. And everybody who I talk to, whenever I talk to them about it, precariousness of our society, and a lot of people pointed to the election this year, which it's like they're reading my mind. And I would love to get y'all's feedback on it and stuff. Like, what exactly? It's like, I don't know exactly how. I don't know if I can even conjure up a scenario in which all manner of wild ness um, just runs rampant all over this country and other people's countries. I don't know. But then again, like, we're here to find out. Am I right? Am I right? Before I go any further, as I've done many times, but I want to continue to do, um, I think it's appropriate to say that I'm not planning to end it. As far as I know, the people who I run with, I'm real close with on and off the internet. As far as I know, they ain't planning to end it. And, things of that nature. You know how, like, people, ridiculous. If I were to say things in real life, a lot of people would think that I'm crazy or depressed or crazy depressed. I don't know. I'm not sure which one. But I think for some reason, the thought has dawned upon me that it's nothing genius or anything, but that you should very well be prepared for this sort of thing and not get caught flat footed. The thing is, you never know what exactly. is gonna pop off and when on our asses, but you know that it likely will pop off on our asses, and seemingly won't be no accountability. What am I even talking about? You ever ask yourself that? When we get out of here, if you ever ask yourself that, because we're on a road of knowing what the hell I'm talking about right now. All right. Shout out before we press on any further to that man Ryan Garcia, and I think you know who I'm talking about. Just as a current event aside, I can't get on Twitter right now. I don't know my own personal information. Basically, I get myself all jumbled up. Like I have a Chromebook. Little do y'all know that I got a Chromebook right here that I'm looking at that potentially I could go on X right now. Potentially, but not really. Because they want me to log in, stuff like that, which is not really a problem. It's if I get all sort of information all jumbled up, that's a real issue. I shall need to work through supposedly into the future. Ryan Garcia. I'm not on X right now, but like I am on Google. I could type it in. Look, I'm all professional. Look off the screen. I'm typing in Ryan Garcia during the broadcast. I even just typed in Ryan. Popped right up. I don't know, maybe because Google has my previous. I don't know. Popped right up though. And the feller was, from what I understand, yesterday when I found out all this Ryan Garcia business. It's the first time I ever heard of this guy because I don't really keep up with this stuff, as much as you might think that I do, but I don't. I didn't know who Ryan Garcia was until just yesterday when I found out about him. And I actually found out about him. Obviously, a lot of people already know from the spaces on X Spaces, Andrew Tate's X Spaces, which this man, who I don't know, had a pretty brief conversation with the man Andrew Tate, which I'm sure you've heard. So just to like document it, if you will, Andrew Tate took a little kind of interview of Ryan Garcia right quick for about 5 minutes, maybe that, it probably less than that, in which Ryan Garcia was saying all sort of shenanigans. I'll have you know. All right, a lot of people already do know. So I was only trying to gather all this together myself. And from what I was seeing, it seemed like Ryan Garcia, for days, for some several days, have been going through some issues. And I don't know if this is documented on social media or whatever. I hadn't heard of him, hadn't heard of this fella. But it was after like some several days of chaotic whatnot, allegedly, that Ryan Garcia comes out and says this. Now, I've heard a lot of people's analysis, and I would go ahead and agree with a lot of people's analysis. This, and that is that it did sound a little bit like the man Ryan Garcia is talking manically. All right, to put it lightly, a little bit manically. The reason I say so is because I've known a person or two to talk in that kind of cadence and manner that Ryan Garcia was talking in. I mean, quite literally, he does not give a F, bro. He didn't give an F at all. For sure. Right. And Alex Jones said, and a lot of people saying, it kind of sounds like that man was going through a mental breakdown. And might I point out, and I think a lot of people have kind of implied this, is that the man is going through something, um, going through something real tough. And so it might be mentally breaking down. However, it's like that doesn't mean that he's lying. Some people would jump to that conclusion. Say that man sounds mental and he must be lying because he's having a mental breakdown. And I think the same could be argued on the other side is that he's telling the truth and that's causing a mental breakdown. I don't know. However, see, that's the thing about it. If anything, and I think a lot of us learned this lesson long, long ago on the internet during our detective work, is that it's really not worth it to believe anything. Okay, we're all conspiracy theorists because we love it. All right, people want to like hate. That's what we do. All right, but we don't know what the hell. We don't know what the hell happened. He might be lying. He might not be lying. We need to get to the bottom of it, meaning evidence. It doesn't matter how people feel. Oh, people feel this way and feel that way. Need evidence. And the thing is, Ryan Garcia in his manic state did promise evidence. I don't know what that means, but here on Google, I'm on Google right now. I can't share that with you because I think our capabilities are limited because of the fact is I'm doing this on a mobile device. I don't know if I'm tripping, but I don't think I could split screen it or something. I think you might need a laptop. I don't have a laptop. I have this pussy ass Chromebook over here, and it gets me nowhere. All right, I'm just kidding, Chromebook. I love you. I love you, Chromebook. It's giving me the information right now. No, I'm tripping. Hey, y'all. I love y'all out there. I don't know if it sounded like I was frantic earlier or whatnot, but I'm not. In fact, I absolutely discourage like losing it and being overwhelmed and cracking up like that man, Aaron Bush now. Maybe we'll talk about him later, but he was a dork and a loser. Sorry about that. I wonder. I wonder what's the deal with that guy. So Ryan Garcia, I'm seeing on Google right now. He has posted to X only 2 hours ago, and his post says, "Check this out." And of course, these Generation Zs. He's 25 years old. I don't know if that makes him a Z or a millennial or what, but he cannot use proper punctuation. God bless him. So check this out. I've been in so many training camps that you discover what your body is actually capable of. Plus, also, is he American? Yeah, he sounded American. He writes like he's not American, but I think he is American. All right, so let's redo this. This is what his post just said. Check this out. I've been in so many training camps that you discover what your body is actually capable of. I've had to fast, cut weight, etc. You can really do a lot just with your mind. God blessed you with. What the heck? I can't argue with that, and I won't. I won't argue with that. Um, I don't know if he's having like a conversation with somebody on X. Hard to tell. I can't log onto my X. Okay, so this whatever going on. Let me read a few of the headlines before we press on as far as this Ryan Garcia because I still don't know much, and we just don't know much. We're waiting for the evidence. Maybe there's no evidence. If there's no evidence, then I believe we're unmoved. When I say we, I don't know. Maybe I'm including you, but I'm unmoved unless I see evidence. That doesn't mean Ryan Garcia invented this idea in his mind, although he might be tripping, and it is possible that he's seen so many things on the internet that it has traumatized him and got him all mixed up in the head. Everything's on the table with Ryan Garcia, but he has got all of our attention. I think that's what's the most important. Daily Mail says more worrying posts from Ryan Garcia's account are shared about demons. See, there you go. There you go. There you go. See, I mentioned demons, right? And it's for a reason. Might sound a little bit repetitive or whatever, but like for the simple reason is that if you say demons or something, people, this Daily Mail atheists, what they are, they're going to try to publicly shame you about these demons, right? Because, oh, that's not science, right? Tim Bradley, he says Ryan Garcia crying out for help as fight implodes. I can't imagine that there will be a fight, although I do understand that a fight is scheduled. Fight is scheduled, and I forget for when, but it's like in middle of April. And mind you, I believe it is after the full blown eclipse that shall be absolutely visible here in San Antonio, Texas. I don't know if you heard about that in the news. It's also in the news. We might talk about it, but Ryan Garcia addresses a Satan in mysterious video during Twitter meltdown. Now they called it Twitter, and that's offensive. That was 1 day ago. And they need to get it right. But it said he had a Twitter meltdown. Boxer Ryan Garcia posts RIP caption on social media, shares Bohemian Grove and this and that, on and on. Okay. See, I mean, it's not fun. I wouldn't say it's fun to speculate because I don't think what Ryan Garcia makes has said has made anybody filled with glee. And in that regard, it's not fun. But however, people are going to speculate as they have surely been speculating up and down, left and right. All right. And of course, there's always going to be people pointing out that it could very well be a psyop and a distraction. Yeah, maybe it could be. But at the same time, I was seeing this video, and y'all been seeing these videos, and it's actually what the title of today's live stream is about. If you shall recall, um, I saw it days ago as well. We always see it lightning quick. We always, and it's so weird. We probably see it at damn near the same time. We're like rabid pit bulls for the information, and it's quite interesting because the information war is the most sophisticated realm of war, right? We wish everybody the best, quite peacefully, and not hate speech. We're not doing hate speech right now, all right? Just so that everybody knows. Right. However, the licking of the feet internationally, they might be wondering what's the deal. I thought I saw like in Oklahoma, the little kids were licking and sucking on toes. What's the deal with that? What's the deal? I don't know. I don't just believe things, right? But I think as a general rule, it's kind of a safe bet My deal is like I'll give publications or institutions or whatever. I'll give them like I don't know 2, 3 days, just 2, 3 days, three maximum to flat out and roundly reject any allegations that they at all facilitated or even somehow were cool with school age children licking on adult people's toes. When you see the videos, it's quite bewildering. And this is all alleged, but according to reports, these little kids were out there licking peanut butter off of these people's toes. You know, that basically adds all sort of insult to injury because, of course, this is an abomination, right? Just on its face. And then you have the nerve, the unmitigated gall to include peanut butter as well. These people are like, so they didn't roundly reject it. So when you don't roundly reject it and flat out all over the place deny it, it basically means yes, indeed, it surely did happen. And I've seen articles where they're like, no, I mean they were licking each other's toes. These kids were licking the peanut butter off of each other's toes, and somehow they were like, we got more peanut butter, and we have adults here, and some sort of fundraiser in Oklahoma. All right, it's kind of like an indication, if you will, like if you were like on the fence, if you will, you weren't sure, which a lot of us, in fact, probably every one of us were at that point, at a specific point, maybe even recently, where we were just not sure that we were headlong in all sort of chaos and lawlessness. But I think it's all sort of proof now as far as that goes. You know, speaking of wild videos, I mean, you see like with the kids and they're licking the peanut butter off the toast. Like, number one, there's so much mystery to that whole event because who's filming it and how long are they filming it before they run into the building and start swinging on folks? I really want to know the answer to that. Or they called the police immediately. What happened? What happened here? Are they just filming it and saying, "Oh, that's odd. Let me film that and upload it to the internet"? Is that what happened? I don't know what happened. I had no clue what happened there. So, but that's a wild video. There's all sort of wild videos. You know, shout out to the '80s kid. He's not in the building. I don't know what time it is over there. Great Britain might be pretty dang early. Uh, Regardless, I would like to ask him if he was out there. I would like to ask him. I don't know if he's anywhere near London or knows anybody in London, but I'm seeing oceans of not British looking people. They're like having some huge protests. And I don't know. I'm not even sure why. To be quite honest, it might have been to free Palestine. And I can't promise you that it was. It could be something totally separate from that. but it could be Free Palestine. Shout out to the man Aaron Bushnell. Um, and shout out to the man Maitre Mark, actually the legend, the Paul Bunyan of Tasmania. Maitre Mark, I do understand that recently he has acquired a flamethrower. Yeah, because I think he understands, like what time it is, what time we're on. Feel me? And I'm sure that he's named the flamethrower already. I'm positive. However, perhaps he'll consider the nickname Bushnell, maybe like as a little side nickname for the flamethrower called Bushnell. I did see that, man. All right, and I did call him a dork and a dweeb. I called him that before. I want to call him that many times over, probably until I know otherwise. I think he's a stinking little dork and a dweeb. All right, but he's gone now. I don't know. I don't know. Thing is, we need accountability. All right, this man, Aaron Bushnell, he lit himself on fire. All right, uh, we talked about it before, but Aaron Bushnell lit himself on fire, and I saw it. I watched it, and if you don't want to watch it, you just want to hear me describe it. He lit himself on fire, and he stood there, and he screamed, and he stamped his feet while he was on fire. Probably because that's just what you might do if you were on fire. Stamped his feet while screaming "Free Palestine! Free Palestine!" They said he'd been hanging out here in San Antonio for a while. I guess he just took a trip over there to Washington, D.C. And like, I don't know. I mean, nobody knows anything about it, right? So it's all very mysterious. He lights himself on fire, right? And he's a dork, right? Most people didn't hear about it, all right? All right, so like best case scenario, Aaron Bushnell, he thinks to himself, I'm powerfully a dork, and I don't even hardly got nothing to live for at all anyways. This is the best case scenario. It's like, well, I seem to like look like I want to stand up for something, and I want to be a hero, and people are really gonna notice me now, knowing full well that if he were to continue living, that nobody would notice him. And it's not me just like I want to rag on the fella, all right? It's because he's got a disease, a sickness. And nobody wants to believe me, but it's quite likely driven by demons. And there's demons wandering around, filling up people's bodies. There's demons getting all sort of demons coming up in me. Obviously, like in my past, demons have came and made me do things that later on I'm like, what the hell? Why would I do that? Those demons. And that's not to shirk responsibility because, if I'm doing something bad, I should get caught for it. And, you know, they got jail and stuff. And that's what they should do. If they got a jail, put me in jail. Right? So, demons we were talking about. Am I right? Demons. Some demons cause men to act like dorks, bleed, act like nerds. All right. Certainly, well, like in computers, like in Star Wars, uh, like in comic books or something. That's the thing that people do sometimes, right? But a lot of folks get carried away, right? Demons. We're not gonna really talk about it. Thing is, I don't really know in great detail the story of our man Aaron Bushnell. The little that I've seen of him and from him, I realize how much of a dork he is. And I want to reiterate it just in case it sounded mean. Little dweeb. And the reality is that it's because his life was amounting to, in his eyes, nothing, which is sad. That's why he felt so comfortable to just throw it away like that. And I went on the internet post mortem to see like what some people were saying about Aaron Bushnell. And lo and behold, there's like websites and whole deals dedicated to honoring Aaron Bushnell and his generous sacrifice to the movement of Free Palestine. Mental disorder every which way that you look at it. You got people who are with this Free Palestine movement or whatever you call it. Who those people in general, speaking in generalities, would absolutely hate the guts of Aaron Bushnell. Simply only because he's white, to be quite honest. Right? But also he's a dork. So it's a double whammy. He might be able to save himself from simply being white because some people are so cool, and if they're white, they'll still fit in. However, if you're a dork like this, you're not going to fit in. That was part of his problem. They say, look at this legend. We're honoring Aaron Bushnell, but as he was alive, y'all couldn't care any less. If he agreed with you, you wouldn't care any less. It's kind of interesting. All right. And, you know, that's like the best Aaron Bushnell could have hoped for. But the worst he could have hoped for is what actually took place. Yeah, people honored you, but also they don't care to know anything about you because if they dug into your personal story, they'd realize how much of a dork you are. Just like they never dug into George Floyd's story. They're gonna honor the name of Aaron Bushnell, and it don't matter that you burned up alive. It didn't matter that you were alive or dead. It don't matter. They're gonna use you, and you're not memorable. They're gonna forget you. I have trouble remembering your name, and I just remember it to make fun of it. And I have trouble remembering it. They're gonna forget Aaron Bushnell quite quickly, right? That's also I mean, I don't know if anybody's thought about it in this sense, but have you ever noticed there's not anybody with any sort of status? I know back in Vietnam or whatnot, they said the monks did it. I don't get it, but who has status? Who's an actual important person who burns himself up on fire? I don't remember anyone important burning themselves on fire to this day. One second, I'll be right back. Yeah. We're gonna wrap it up. I can feel my eyelids getting heavy, y'all. about that time that I go off into dreamland. And I let my subconscious take over, take hold. Can't wait. All right. But, you know, I don't remember what we talked about on this broadcast right now. But I feel like it's all kind of alluding to what I was talking about earlier. I find it quite interesting and a quite a thrilling time too, as well. To know that everything is beyond absurd, and to know personally that to do something foolish, such as light yourself on fire for Palestine or whoever else, uh, that's fruitless, right? To say the least. It's actually quite embarrassing for all eternity. Imagine if you were embarrassed for all eternity. All right. Um, it's all so wild, and it was wild already. That's why we've been talking about it for years. But now I think we'll all agree it's so there's steps. There's steps of wild chaos, and it's going in further. Um, I suppose the only reason I'm bringing it up, to be honest, not to get anybody like depressed or anxious and all worked up. Like I said, I'm about to go to sleep like a baby. I mean, like in less than 15 minutes, I'll be out of there. Hopefully, God willing. I mean, um, but absurdity, tomfoolery, shenanigans, malarkey, jumping Joe Biden once called it. Um, it's overwhelming to some people. Okay, but it seems clear that certain of us are being trained up and molded and prepared for such a time, for such times that it's as though the Bible came back to life, or it actually never did leave, getting us prepared. I mean, it's all sort of things. I mean, things that should make you fall over and have a heart attack. Prepared. I think that's pretty quite exciting. Not only that, furthermore, and I'll get out of here with this. I think every day goes on, the idea every single day it's worth the idea of working this job, that job, working here, working there, always be working, keep working. Why? Because I like working. It's just what I do, but keep on working just to be taxed out of more than half my money, right? And just to be just barely making it. That's crazy. See, that's what's crazy. See, that's what's changing the game right now. It's like people realize, wow, like I could potentially work 50, 60 hours and maybe perhaps not make it at all or barely make the bill. I see it's somebody in the building. They might let themselves be known if they want to, but of course we're wrapping it up otherwise. And as we were wrapping it up, I was just saying all the stuff that we were talking about previous. I mean, it's kind of conducive to an environment in which it is it's disturbed. It's like it's inappropriate. It's irresponsible. At this point, Andrew Trevino up in the building. That's amazing. Well, this guy right here needs to get his rest, right? It's like everybody else. Because he's just got up in the building. Well, that's too bad. This guy, he's out there shaking and baking. Over here, we're about to lay it down. That's how it goes tonight. And that's why we're trying to do installments. Maybe not every day. We did miss yesterday, of course. But we're going to try and get better and better. And I want to say why. Live streaming, there's the element of the fact is that it's like spontaneous, that I can kind of free ball it, if you will. There's that, like, I don't have to like upload stuff necessarily. There's less complications just uploading, whatnot. But recently, I had the idea of regularly uploading this live streams almost every day to YouTube and maybe the spicy ones over on Rumble. As we all know, that's what Rumble is for. And I am capable of live streaming on Rumble now. So um, having these installments, because this is how I figure it. Now, people are tripping out there. People are living their lives, and God bless them. The way I see it is that let's first of all let's go hard. Pause. Let's get big and swole and get all. Just let's try and upgrade out as hard as we can. Might as well. But I'm thinking, well, okay, this election, nobody has any idea what on earth is going to happen, and already is chaos happening, right? So it's like, how hard is it? That's the question. How hard is it to upload a 30-minute, hour live stream every day? What, for a year? It's like no time at all. And within half a year, all calamity is going to be having to unfortunately unfold. And at that point, maybe we'll have something else to do besides live streaming. But that's the way I see it. It's like it's not a very long stretch of time at all. And in fact, I feel like it'll fly by. But without sounding like Aaron Bushnell, and we do, I mean, I do stomp on the memory of Aaron Bushnell, right? And I laugh at his family. I don't know if that was going overboard, but he was a stinking dork. All right. And what's the worst part about him is that he was able to get manipulated into taking his own life and making precisely zero difference. Like he's a loser, right? And some people would say science and whatever, what have you. They would say chemical imbalances. Man had demons. I said he had demons. And Ryan Garcia over there, world class championship boxer, he's talking about demons. I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. But okay. Speaking on him, as we get up out of here, you can accuse Ryan Garcia of a lot of things, but I don't think anybody can accuse this man of like sitting around and acting average and being average and laying low and not kicking up dust, right? And to me, that's the main focus tonight. If I bid y'all adieu, it's that it doesn't even make sense to like it's outrageous. It you got a mental disease if you think that you're just gonna stay being average and you're not gonna be like the scum up under everybody's feet at a certain point here in the near future, right? We gotta turn up. We gotta get we gotta get litty all over the city, as the kids say. Some of these kids are savages, and in a sense, they're showing us the way. All right, I'll holler at y'all a little bit later, and I'm gonna pass out now and holler at y'all a little bit later, uh, with some more of that info.